Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Moss. Moss is from Los Angeles in California in the USA. So let's see what Moss has to say. Enjoy the interview.
Hi,
Hello, Moses, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
Sure thing. Sure thing. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Should I call you Mo or Moses?
Either one's fine. Mo is good.
Mos? Okay. So tell me, how's your day going so far, your morning?
So far, so good. It's been nice and productive. It's sunny here in Los Angeles, so I'm happy.
Amazing. I think it's always sunny in LA, isn't it?
Most of the time, yeah, we're lucky.
As we were talking about, LA, I had a few guests on the show, from Los Angeles. And of course, people, they talk a lot about the weather. They talk a lot about, the industry of movies and, a lot of artists are there as well. I had some guests that they lived there before. Now they're in New York City. So I always heard a lot about LA. So let's start the interview about talking about LA a little bit. So um, you're from there? You were born there or not? You just live there by coincidence?
Oh no, I've been here about a year and a half now, so I'm new. Originally from the East Coast, and then I lived in Denver, Colorado for 8 years before moving here.
I see. So since you've been there in Los Angeles, tell me something that that people talk about, that people get right since you've been there. Said, okay, that's right. That's the impression that I always heard. And the opposite side, tell me something that they get completely wrong since you've been there.
Yeah, interesting question. I think one thing that people get right about LA is that there is a reputation here that everybody's always on a hustle, right? We're always trying to do the next thing. Everybody here is really motivated, really, everyone has like a vision and a goal. So that's really exciting. And it does create a bit of a hustle culture for sure. I don't know anyone that has one job. So that's that's true. And then, I think one thing people tend to get wrong is a lot of people think of LA as just Hollywood, right? It's just that one part of town. Everything revolves around that. It's a big industry, but that industry, and there's so much more to this city. I live downtown, so it's a very different vibe, different aesthetic, different culture, different pace. And beyond that, there's just so many different cultures and communities, and neighborhoods, and there's so much to see and do, and so many people to meet in such a big town that a lot of times when people come in and just see Hollywood, they're really missing out on.
Right. And why LA for you?
It was a number of reasons. A big one was that I couldn't handle the Colorado winters anymore. After 8 of those, I was very done. That was a big one. And then, I really wanted to try just a place with just a bigger feel, a bigger city with just more types of people to meet and experiences to have. That was a really big pull. And then on a personal note, my family lives down here, so I wanted to get close to them again.
Oh, there you go. I was about to ask if your family are back in Colorado, so they are from LA.
Not originally, but now they all live out here in Southern California.
I see. And what do you do for work, for living, Mos?
I do a number of things. So I have a full-time job where I work for a consulting firm. We do really great work on healthcare related issues. And then I also teach part-time as well. And then, of course, I also work in the LA nightlife scene. So I go and help promote events. And that's been a lot of fun to get into over the past year or so. I worked in nightlife in Colorado for a long time and then now have just started in the past year getting into the LA scene as well.
Amazing. And what do you teach right now? What are you teaching?
I'm teaching healthcare policy.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Tell me a little bit about it.
It's fascinating. So it's a lot about educating on how to just read and understand and analyze big ticket policies.
Okay.
So it's very introductory. It's not necessarily about how to write policies or anything like that. It's really just about how to get that critical lens as you're analyzing them and just hearing about them. Because we all go about our day-to-day life hearing the news about, this law was changed or this law is under threat. And a lot of us never learned how to really make sense of any of that. So I really try and focus on just building that literacy in my students. And then also what I like to do is build a little bit of confidence in how to get involved in the process. So just teaching things like how do you talk to a policymaker, or where are those opportunities? How do you write, maybe, write into a publication, an op-ed or something like that. So I really try and get them confident as well.
Amazing. Okay, so during the journey, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your life overall and also about your journey so far, okay?
Sure.
Moss, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Let's do it.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I've got here my best friend, okay, full of random fun questions. I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to relax a bit before the first question, okay?
Sure thing.
Let's do it. Yes, you always can join me dancing.
Great.
So before we start the interview, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, you don't want to discuss about it, we always can change, okay?
Okay.
Right, first question for you is, what do you think people need to know about each other before they get married?
Oh my goodness. So many things. Ooh, I've never been married, so I don't have firsthand experience, but I would really like to know things like, um, how loud do you snore at night if we're going to be sharing a bed? That's a big one. Uh, do you like similar foods that I like to cook, right? Are you going to be allergic to my pets?
Ah, okay, good one, actually.
Yeah, good logistical questions. And then, of course, things like, what's your love language and how are we going to get through the hard times together, right? Those really committed things as well.
You know, you talk about love language, you know, there are different ones that we related more to, you know what I mean? There's some of them. Which one is you feel more related to, like when you talk about love language?
For me, it's, I've taken the quiz and stuff. It's all about quality time for me. That's
Hmm.
a big one for me. And, I interpret it a number of ways. On the one hand, time together is so important, and making that time, especially since I like to stay really busy and I like people who tend to stay really busy as well. So making that time together is so important. But also quality time for me can mean gifting each other time apart as well, and really respecting and honoring our time apart, making it intentional. My time is really valuable to me. And when somebody respects both our time together and the time that we have decided to not be together, that really shows me love and makes me feel very loved.
And since you've been living in LA, how do you find the dating life or the connection with people to get, do you feel like it's easy for you to connect with someone and get closer together?
Oh my goodness, in Los Angeles? I think you have better luck finding a parking spot in Los Angeles than you do a partner. It's hard out here.
Why
There's
is that?
just
Why is that? Why do you think it's hard? It's just because people they are always on the go, people they are always focused in their careers. How? What do you think?
I think it's a little bit of that. A lot of, the culture here is a lot around ambition, and people tend to really focus on why they came here. And then also I think there's just a lot of people. So you meet someone and there's just a lot of distractions, and it can be really hard for two people to focus on each other at the same time when there's so much opportunity and distraction, be it somebody else or something else or a career opportunity or whatever it is. So I think that's true of any big city, but
Mhm.
LA definitely has a culture of, dating happens really fast here. I've seen friends get in and out of relationships really fast, and uh, I think that definitely adds to the difficulty of finding a partner here.
It's interesting. It makes no sense. You know, I live in London, and there is, being big cities. I mean, it's like a win the lottery when you find someone that it click and you have the same, way of thinking. You kind of have the same goals, or yeah, it can happen. But I mean, we are. we love the this the biz and buzz about those big cities, but there's always the lows and the highs as well. And you live in by day and see how it goes.
Right, exactly.
Next question. Hey Mo's from Los Angeles. Next question is, what are three fun facts about yourself?
Ooh, three fun facts. Let's see. I'll bring my cat up. So I have a cat. That's a fun fact. He's the light of my life. I'm totally obsessed with him. Yeah, and we go on adventures and he's a big social animal. So that's one fun fact. I think another fun fact is that let's see, I love to cook. Not
Hmm,
everyone knows that. Like I don't like to plan my meals. I like to just see what I have and put something together. It's a creative outlet for me. It definitely helps me stay mindful as well. One more. Um, I'll get back to you on a third one as I think of something interesting.
sure. Um, as you like cooking, tell me something that you cook that your friends or family go like, oh my god, that's the best dish that you can do it. And the other part of the question is, there is anything or something that you can't eat at all, you don't like to eat?
Interesting. I'm very proud of my hummus. I think I make a really good hummus. I've never heard anything but praise about my hummus.
Okay,
So I'll put that out there. And something I really don't like to eat. I'm not a huge fan of cold soups like gazpacho. I think they can be delicious and really unique too and inspired, but I just prefer my soups warm personally.
I see. And you cook very often?
Yeah, I cook the vast majority of what I eat. I'll go out once in a while for sure, but I much prefer to cook.
Amazing. Next one, let's do it. Moss, before the next question, actually, I saw a phrase in your profile that got my attention. It says there, not a thought behind these eyes. So tell me what you mean by that. What's the thing behind this phrase?
Sure. So, it's a meme or a TikTok where this person's on their farm and they see one of the animals and the animals comes up to them and they just look so bewildered and totally out of it. And the person recording the video goes, "Oh, you poor thing, not a thought behind those eyes, huh?" And it's a little bit of a joke, but it is fun sometimes, especially on the internet, to just sort of check out and just, we have so much going on in our lives all the time and all that we think about, all that we worry about, and it's so nice sometimes to just play the part of, just a bewildered animal on the farm.
That's funny. When you analyze yourself and you think about you, what's the best part of being Moth? What's the best part of being yourself, in your opinion?
Oh my God. I'd say I've been incredibly lucky and super grateful to have the supports that I have in my life. I have a good relationship with my family and my chosen family and my friends and my loved ones. And it's obviously work, right? Relationships take a lot of work.
Absolutely.
Um, but every day I'm just so grateful to have the people that I've been blessed with in my life. And my home is filled with pictures of loved ones, and every day as I walk through and do my routine, I'll take a look and just be reminded to just feel grateful and lucky. And that's got to be the best part of being me.
Wow. And which person in your family you are more close to?
My sister has been my best friend my entire life since minute one.
Wow.
So we talk every day. She's a huge support system. We're siblings. We fight,
Yeah,
but
of course.
uh, absolutely just my number one support system in my family.
Wow. And what's the biggest difference between both of you and the biggest similarity?
Oh my God, the biggest difference is what we think is fun. Our perfect days could not be more different. I'm a big nightlife person and social animal, and she's more of an introvert. She loves to reflect and, likes to spend her free time doing just different things than I do. Um, and I think our biggest similarities probably are similar to what I just mentioned about being like what I think is the best part about being about me. It's we really share a lot of value around gratitude, and that's something that we always try to remind each other is when things get tough, what are we grateful for? And that's always been a through note in our lives is to just remember to be grateful for things.
Amazing. Very good. She'll be very happy right now when she's watching this interview. I can see her smiling. If you could change something in yourself or about yourself, what that would be and why?
Oh, huh. Lately I've really been trying to work on more intentional downtime. I tend to sometimes just get so focused on all the things that I want to achieve and experience that I'll sometimes get in these modes where I'll look at my calendar and I don't have any downtime for like the next, 8 weeks. And I'm just like, oh no, how did this happen? So when that happens, I realize that, sometimes I struggle with knowing what it is that I want to be doing outside of those ambitions. So um, if I could change one thing, I think it would be to have a little bit more downtime, very intentional, and also just to give myself the grace to try some things that aren't necessarily productive, if you will.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, it's a goal, something I'm working on.
And you always been this way. You always had this mindset of focus in your, in your goals, in your life. You always had this way of approaching life.
I think from a very young age. I mean, I don't remember the last time I only had one job.
Wow.
Yeah,
Ready for another question?
sure, let's do it.
Let's do it. Next one. All right. Next question is, how would you like to be remembered in life?
Hmm. I hope I'm remembered as somebody who was kind, hopefully.
Mhm.
Um, I try to lead with kindness. I remind myself that all the time to just lead with kindness. And I also hope I'm remembered by my friends as somebody who brought in some joy and fun, right? That's a big value of mine. Our world and our lives are so can be so bleak sometimes and difficult, right? There's so many worries for us to think about, and if I can be a source of just a break and some fun and some joy, that's something I hope that folks remember me for.
I can see that you mention a lot about kindness, about being grateful, about gratitude. It's something that you took, you grew up like hearing that and kind of being learned, or something that you kind of when you understood about the power of gratitude, you started be grateful, or you always had that.
I think it's both, right? My family of origin definitely instilled it in me for sure. Like it's something that we hold really dear, and it's a practice that we always really tried to honor as well, to just remember to be grateful. But then the older I get, the more intentional the practice becomes to just, really practice gratitude more often and more intentionally. And I think I've seen the power of it grow the older I get, possibly because there's as life gets more complicated, the older you get, as your schedule fills out and your responsibilities fill out and your relationships fill out, I think there's just more things that can really sort of bum you out, right? But there's also more things to be grateful for as well. So I think I've really, the older I get, the more I try to get intentional around it. And I've really seen the power of it.
I think the feeling of gratitude, it's so good, isn't it? You feel so great when you think about, oh my God, I'm so grateful for whatever you feel like. I think it's a great feeling.
It really is. And sometimes those little things can really be the spark of so much gratitude. I recently bought myself a new appliance. I won't say what it is, but It's something that I've wanted for a long time, and it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it was just something that I was like, I don't need it. I don't have the space. There's ways around it, blah, blah, blah. And then one day I was like, whatever, it's on sale. I'm getting it. And since then, like that little quality of life improvement has completely just flooded me with gratitude for all the little things. I
Nice.
can't explain it, but I'm so glad I went for it.
Amazing. Very good. Next question, Moz. Let's do it. Before the next one, tell me how the opportunity for you to start your career as a go-go dancer appeared. Tell me, how it's been introduced to you, and also what do you like the most about being a go-go dancer? What's the biggest joy of it?
Oh, fun. It got introduced to me by a bar owner in Denver, Colorado, who approached me one night and said, "Hey, you're always here in cool outfits and dancing anyways. Would you like to get paid for it and get up on the box?"
Wow,
And I had never really considered it before, but I was like, you know what? Let's try it. And he just kind of gave me the courage and the push to just give something new a shot. And I totally fell in love with it right away. Like it was just such a empowering experience, and it was also so exciting and challenging. And then I think what really sort of clicked for me over time as I've been doing it, because I've been doing it for goodness, 5 years now, almost 6 years. Um, what really sort of clicked that I love about it the most is when somebody comes out to an event or a bar because I posted about it or because, they heard that I'm going to be there or because they're one of my friends and they wanted to support me or whatever, for whatever reason. And then I hear from them that they had a great night and they're just like, I had so much fun tonight. That is like, that makes my entire week. Like that will just be the best moment for me. And I'll always ask like, oh, what would you have been doing if you weren't here? And sometimes the answer is like, I would have gone there, or I would have stayed at home, or I would have been, doing this. And like the idea that just because I posted an Instagram story or like sent a text, somebody had a fun, memorable night that just like again kind of broke up some of that life experience that we all go through, that totally just that makes it all for me. Like that's what it's all about.
and the flip side, what do you find most challenging about the career?
Really putting yourself out there for sure. So, getting up there and being very visible without a lot of clothes on, it can create a lot of stress and pressure for sure. And then of course the hustle of it too, because you're always out looking for gigs and making connections, and I do enjoy that aspect, but it's challenging. It's work.
And what's the biggest misconception that people has from go-go dancers, in your opinion?
Hmm. I think a lot of people expect that energy that you bring to the box to be who you are all the time. Whatever the energy that you bring is, whether you're, the party guy or the sexy guy or whatever, right? I think people expect that to be you all the time, which is probably true of most performers, right? Like people expect actors to be like who they played, or they expect drag queens to be like how they perform, right? And at the end of the day, it's a performance. So once we get home and get cleaned up, we might be a completely different person. And sometimes people are surprised by that.
Amazing. Okay. Next question is, what has been the happiest point of your life?
Oh my God.
You're like, oh my God, I'm in trouble now.
No, it's just
I
I've
know.
had so many. I'm so grateful to be able to pick from things. Um, right now I'm incredibly grateful for a memory from a year ago where it was going to be my birthday, and it was a milestone one. I won't say which one, but it was a milestone. And um I had a lot of friends from Denver ask me, "Hey, what do you want to do? It's a big milestone, right? Do you want to go somewhere? Do you want to do a trip? Do you want to come here?" And I suggested, I said, let's, like, what I would really love is if some of you guys came out to Los Angeles and I got to show you why I picked it, like what I like about it, and got to show you a little bit of what I'm excited about here. And, people were like, yeah, sure, okay, we'll think about it. And I thought, maybe a couple people will come out and it'll make my birthday really special to have some close friends here. They really are my chosen family. So I was like, this is going to be really cool and special to have a couple people out. I thought maybe 4 or 5, we can probably all fit in my apartment or something. Anyways, 12 guys flew out, 16 guys were part of the weekend.
Oh,
So yeah. So the entire weekend, I am just overwhelmed with like, I was a mess. I was like crying all the time. I was just like so overwhelmed with how much love I felt and just how lucky I am to have uh people who are gonna fly halfway across the country to see me and make my birthday special. Like that's crazy. Who gets that? So that was just one of the happiest weekends I've ever had. Just to look around the room and see people I love and feel that they love me back, and just be so incredibly grateful to be so lucky. Be so lucky.
wow. Do you like celebrating birthdays, or for you it's just a normal day?
I like celebrating birthdays. I think they're fun, mine and others. Like I like making birthdays special. It's, why not? It's a reason to make a moment of the year special. So, when it's a friend's birthday, I'll always try and think of something if I can. And then for my birthday, like I'm not like the kind of person that needs it to be like this big thing or anything, but I like to do something a little special. I've had some birthdays where nothing happened, and I'll always try to at least treat myself to like a nice dessert or something.
Amazing. Good. I have 3 questions left, okay? Let's do
Okay,
it.
let's do it.
Okay, boss, next question is, which question would you like to be asked?
Um, I like to be asked about my cat. I can talk about my cat for hours.
Okay, so about your cat. So tell me, how did you get it? Was a present, and or you bought it, or tell me a funny story since you have your cat, something that happened to him or between you both that you're never gonna forget.
Sure. I mean, the moment I met him, I'll never forget. So I went to a shelter, and I'd been thinking for a while that I wanted a pet, and I was very like pet neutral. I was like dog, cat, ferret, whatever. I just knew that I wanted another life form in the house. Like I wanted that relationship and that energy. And went to the shelter and I saw some animals and just kind of looked around, and they're all so cute. And I was like, oh, I wish I could take them all home. And then out of one of the sections, out, I'm walking past, and as I kind of make it through the window, this one cat just turns around. He was looking in the other direction, turns around, sees me, and runs right up to the window and just immediately makes eye contact with me. And then I'll never forget this. Keeping eye contact, he rolls on his back and he does that little cat thing where they go like this
Oh,
and just looks at me. And I was like, okay, well, I have to meet you. So
oh,
I go to the shelter staff and I'm like, I think there's one that I have to meet. And I get in there and immediately he's just like, he's on me. He's sweet. He lets me groom him right off the bat. He like is just so sweet. And then I'm like, I'm taking you home. And they bring out the little box. He jumps right in and just looks at me and doesn't make a fuss and is like, let's go. Like I just felt so chosen by him. Like I felt like I had no choice. Like I got picked. And then, sure enough, the first few months were challenging. Like after he got his energy back post shelter and stuff and got his health, he was very excited. So we used to go on walks around the neighborhood, which was very funny.
wow.
Uh, but then as we got to know each other, he settled in and now he's just a really sweet guy. So, you
Oh.
know, he makes it all worth it for sure.
What's his name?
His name is Calcifer.
Calcifer. Wow, interesting.
Yeah, it's from if you've ever heard of Howl's Moving Castle, it's a Miyazaki movie from the 90s.
Wow,
Yeah.
amazing. Cool. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Before the next question, you've been mentioned about your family, the support you have, the connection, how was for you growing up as a gay boy? Did, Tell me about your experience.
I was pretty lucky in a lot of ways. Mostly, so I went to high school in the South, so in North Carolina. And that was challenging for sure, right? Being queer, being different in a conservative part of the world is always going to have some of those challenges that we're all familiar with. But I was lucky in a lot of ways in that I went to a very large public high school. There was a lot of students. So I never had the experience of being the gay kid. There was always others.
Okay.
And I always had an opportunity to sort of learn about gay and queer culture from a young age. So I actually started living pretty queer at a very young age. Like I think the first time I went to like I was in, I was participating in some theater tech, so I got to meet a lot of creative people that way and a lot of queer people. And then at a very young age, I started going to the Rocky Horror Picture Show, if you know what that is.
No.
Oh, okay. So the Rocky Horror Picture Show it's a movie, it's an old movie, Susan Sarandon. Um, well, I mean, Tim Curry, I should have said him first, but Susan Sarandon is sort of like the icon for me. Um, and it's like one of those cult classics that just has this sort of like whole subculture and community around it. And in a lot of cities and a lot of parts of the world, they'll do a regular showing of it every Friday or every third Friday. And they show it at midnight. And it just brings out, I say this with so much love because I'm one of them, all the freaks. So it's like just all these counterculture communities come out and enjoy it. We have our little traditions and rituals around it, little dances that we do, callbacks at the screen, things like that. And going to that for the first time at such a young age, I think I was 14, was my one of my first experiences being in a queer space and just knowing that like this is okay. Like there is joy, there is happiness, there is a future for people who are like me. And I went a lot in high school. We used to go all the time, and it was, looking back, maybe I shouldn't have been hanging out with that many adults that often, but but luckily nothing traumatic happened. Uh, and it definitely was a positive experience for me, and just again getting some of that reminder and that influence of just, it gets better, just keep waiting, and life life does happen for queer people.
Hmm.
So even though there was challenges, I did experience a lot of homophobia for sure, a lot of bigotry growing up in the South. I always was so lucky to also have pockets of queer spaces and queer community that really sort of raised me up and kept me going.
The day when you came out, did something happen, or you just felt like, okay, let me just live my true self from now on and just share this with my friends and family?
It was a process for me. It wasn't really like one specific day. I was so obviously queer at such a young age. The things I liked, the way I talked, the stuff I did, the way I presented myself. I mean, I think I dyed my hair purple when I was like 14 and just like just could not hide it no
Hmm.
matter what I did. That there was just like little progressions of coming out over time, where like my friends and the school and my parents and my family and so forth, that there wasn't like a specific day, but as you probably know, for a lot of queer people, you're never done coming out. It's something that just always happens, and I think every time you experience it again, it is a moment. Like something does happen. So, you know, I'm again grateful for having the experience I had. And at the same time, there were challenges. There were friends lost along the way. And there were, conversations with family and things like that were difficult, and a lot of commitment to try to actually understand each other and take time to see each other's sides and understand each other's feelings. Um, But at the end of the day, like I think the takeaway is always that I never felt like I had a different choice than to be myself. Like
Wow.
I knew that like I'm gonna have to put in the work for the people that I care about. I'm gonna have to cut off people that just aren't an option to be in my life anymore.
Mhm.
But changing who I am or hiding who I am is never going to be a choice that I can pick. Not an option.
Wow. It's powerful to know and to feel this way, to be able to, you know what I mean, say, okay, you know what? You stand up for yourself. You're literally say, okay, I'm this is the way I am. I'm truly self. Okay, I cannot go in different direction. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Even though it's
yeah.
gonna be up and downs, obstacles, and things that's gonna make us feel insecure, bad, sad for other reason. But you know what? That's me. What can I do?
What can I do? Yeah.
And some people, sadly, some people they're not able to be in this position for so many different reasons, you know. And it feels great when you can be your true self, or you can express the way you are. And I think all of us, we are here for the same reason, to be our truly self, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you said you're in London, right?
Yeah, in London.
Yeah, we're so lucky to be in parts of the world where,
So
you know,
true.
where we can live
Abs-
authentically, right? Like that is lucky. It's not true for a lot of people. So,
that's so true. Okay, next question is, what is the biggest punishment have you ever received?
biggest punishment I ever received? Oh my God. Um, uh, I lost out on a job once for being too honest during an integrity interview.
Oh my God, can you share?
Yeah, I won't share a ton of details, but
Oh,
so in some fields, there's something called an integrity interview, where basically you go in and they ask you a lot of really personal questions.
wow.
And um, my understanding of it was that it was to check how honest you are, right? Because they're looking for honesty. And I was incredibly, incredibly honest because I thought that was the point. And then sure enough, they said, hey, you were way too honest with us, and we can't give you this job anymore. And I was
Oh,
so confused because I thought, well, hey, it's called an integrity interview. Like, aren't you checking for my integrity? And then a mentor I had at the time was, no, they're checking to see if you can lie well enough in a way that like seems like you're being integritous and honest, which just blew my mind. I was like, I was following the instructions. I was doing something that I value, honesty, and I got punished for it. It changed up a lot of my plans at the time and like really shook a lot of things for me. So it definitely was a punishment. But like I was just so confused. I was like, why would you call it an integrity interview if you don't
yeah.
want me to be honest? And the questions were personal too. So like
Oh,
it was so funny in retrospect. At the time it was like a whole mess for me. But looking back at it, I'm like, I can't believe I got punished for following the instructions and for having integrity. Like what a weird thing to get punished for.
do you remember one of the questions that was very personal that you kind of just, you know, was honest about it?
Oh, it was questions about like your love life. It was questions about like drug use. It was questions about um like all the different relationships you had, questions about your social media presence, like it
Oh,
was all sorts of things.
wow. I think people watching this interview right now, they're gonna think twice before doing this test. They're gonna
Yeah.
prepare themselves better.
Yeah, if anybody ever has to take an integrity interview, just make sure you understand the assignment and know what you're signing up for.
I love that. Funny. Ready for the last one?
Sure, let's do it.
Last question was. But before the last question, through your career as a go-go dancer, tell me a moment or a situation that you're never gonna forget, that always gonna have a special place in your heart.
Oh, there's so many. Um, I want to share, there's so many. I
You
want to
can
share
share
two,
too. Yeah, absolutely.
and both are relatively recent. One was this like the first time that somebody maybe this wasn't that recent, but the first time that somebody came up to me on the box, gave me $1 and said like, exactly what I was talking about earlier. They said, "Hey, I don't know you, but I came out because I saw your post and I'm having a great time. Like, thank you for
Wow.
bringing me." Like, that was more or less exactly what they said. And this one was a little bit of a while ago, but it was such a moment of like, oh, this is the power of it seems so, like not basic, but so silly, like go-go dancing, right? It's like a funny thing, but I was like, this has power, right? Like I changed somebody's night. They're having a great time. They're meeting people. Like they could be making connections that who knows what that could lead to. And like that was just a really powerful, really cool moment. And that really inspired me. But then a moment that's more recent and specific was just recently I had two friends from out of town that I've known since college. And we've kept in touch all these years, and they've gotten married since, and they're like just two people I hold really dear. And they don't really go to gay bars or anything. They don't have a ton of experience with it. But they were coming out and we spent some time together and I showed them around town one day and I said, "Hey, tonight I'm working at this bar. I know it's not what you usually do, but if you're interested, just come out. Like I think it'll be really fun for you. It's a cool event. It's a mixed crowd. I think you'll enjoy it." And they were like, "Yeah, yeah, I think we will. I think we will." And I didn't think much of it. And then, they said they're coming. I was like, "Cool, cool. It's gonna be fun." Um, and then, I do my first set and I'm on the box and they're not there and I'm like having a good time and doing my thing. I've been doing it for so long. And then I take a break and then I go back out for my second set and right in front of the box, the stage that I was on at the moment, I see my friends and she's up there with just a big stack of cash. And she's looking up at me like this with this big smile on her face. And she's just so excited. And she goes like this and she goes, "Do something." And I
Oh,
just bust out laughing. And it was so exciting to see like, friends I've known so long come out and support and be excited and just try something new just because I was there, which was so, so cool and fun. And all night long, I was just walking around with this big smile on my face. I bet everybody thought I was on drugs or something, but literally, I was just in such a good mood just because I was just like, this is so cool and so special that like these people that I essentially grew up with are, interested in going out of their comfort zone and trying something new. And at the end of the night, they both, expressed that they had a wonderful night. The guy was like, "Never seen a drag show before. This was amazing. Like, how did they do it?" And the girl was like, "This was so fun. You were great." And like, it was just so nice to. It was like a worlds collide moment that I think I'm gonna cherish for forever.
amazing. Good. Very good. Last question is, what does money mean to you?
Money?
Yeah.
Oh man, money is tough. Um, at the end of the day, it means that I get to, if I have enough of it, it means I get to stick around on this
Hmm.
rock that we're all on and keep having these experiences, keep trying new things, keep meeting new people, um, and just keep on living. So, it's one of those things where like, sure, I like having money. Who doesn't, right?
Yeah.
But I want to have, my goal is to have enough that I can comfortably keep just trying new things, meeting new people, and staying alive. So that's really what it translates to me, I think, for.
Amazing. Very good. It's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Let's start with family,
Uh, love,
life.
uh, joy,
You're like, joy,
yeah,
fear,
anxiety,
money,
important,
love,
more important,
sex,
also important. No, I'll say fun.
religion,
Uh, sure.
okay, politics,
Complicated,
friendship,
everything,
desire,
fun,
Regrets.
Learning.
Success.
Rewarding.
Wish.
I don't know. Next one.
Happiness.
Gratitude.
One word for Colorado.
Oh, beautiful.
One word for LA.
Exciting.
One word for USA.
Hopeful.
The last one now, go-go dancer, one word.
Fun.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your lovely sister, yeah, for a coffee, and I'm going to ask her, define Moz in one positive word and one negative word only. What should say?
Negative should probably say that I'm restless.
Mm-hmm.
And positive, I hope she would say, I don't know for sure. I hope she would say that I'm loving.
Amazing. When you show her the interview, when you get to this part, you pause for a minute, get her answer before, and after you play again to see if she's gonna get it right.
Yeah, we should. That'll be fun.
Let's play now, Moz, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. I'm here so brave, dancing in front of a professional dancer, go-go dancer. I'm so brave to do that. Before you ask me the question, I could see that you have a very interesting, beautiful tattoo on your finger here. Can you show me and what it's about?
So it's quite finger tattoos are tricky. You have to get them done over and over again. They fade. But if you look really closely, you can see that what this one is, and I'm really due to go get it done again, is it's a harness. You know what leather harnesses are?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a leather harness, and it's a small one on my finger. And the joke is that I'll always be ready for gear night, right? And then on this finger, I have, ooh, it's kind of a weird angle on Zoom, but it's winged eyeliner. It's like pretty little eyes. And this one is in honor of all those people and moments of femininity and soft beauty in my life that have shaped my life and that I value. And this one is in honor of all those moments of masculinity and especially queer masculinity
Like that.
uh, that have shaped my life and all those people that I value. So both are a little bit of like a reminder and a tribute piece. They're small, they're fun, they hurt like hell, and they're special to me even though they're so small.
I love that. I love the message behind. I really like it. Very creative.
Thank you.
Okay, you can ask me a question now, Moz,
About anything?
about anything.
Ooh, okay. What is your absolute most favorite restaurant in London? A place you could go to every day.
My God, what a good question, actually. Over 1,000 interviews. Nobody asked me this question. Wow, what a great question. You put me in the spot now. Okay, which restaurant? You know what? Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you now. The first thing that came to my mind right now, I love food as well. I don't cook as you do, well as you do, but however, I love food. I love, eating, trying different cuisines, different dishes. But actually, fun enough, what I like the most about going to restaurants, I don't, in LA, I don't know if you say pubs as well. Pubs like this, when you go there, people have a pint, people go there for, to have a moment with friends, and they do this Sunday roast. I don't know if they, I love those. It feels so cozy somehow. So for me, I love going to the Italian restaurants, Portuguese or Brazilian, different cuisines. But however, when you ask me that now, the first picture came to my mind was those pubs where you go for a Sunday roast or just like a burger. The main thing is about chilling with friends and having this, this, and the weekend's finishing now, and you just have this moment of celebration. So for me, and a local pub, like very English, just getting ask something to drink and get a Sunday roast or and it's the best. I think that's the best for me. It just it's so simple, but at the same time
Yeah.
as well, it means a lot because you're sharing like a moment with a friend and having this weekend, like on Sunday, finish your week and start your week again, having this, this simple moment in a pub. I like that. I think it's very English and I love it. I think if my friends go, oh, let's go to do something this Sunday. I said, yeah, actually this Sunday now. I'm gonna meet a good friend of mine. We are going
Oh,
to outside London. We're gonna meet there, and you already booked the place, and it's like a pub. Somehow, she booked for us. We're gonna have this Sunday roast that we've been trying for a while now. So yeah, this Sundays I'm gonna have one of those my favorite programs of doing is going for a roast on a pub, an English pub.
that
Yeah,
sounds amazing. Sounds so comforting. I love
yeah,
it.
I
Thank you for
love
sharing.
it. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's great, and you put me in the spot now because I was expecting this question, and it's simplicity. I love those places when you can feel yourself. People they're just there relaxing, have a great time, and eating. I know good food. It's just like a simple roast. It feels good for sure.
I can't wait. I hope to one day go to London and try one.
Absolutely. Just let me know. I'll be more than happy to show you around and to take you to a Sunday roast in England, in a pub, in a very English pub. Okay?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Done. Deal. Did you enjoy the interview, Moz?
Yes, this was so fun. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much for being so kind. Since when I invite you online, you're very sweet and very supportive as well. So thanks for taking the time. It was a pleasure have you on the show, and thanks for sharing your experience, and bring your good charisma to the show. But before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
I think I've said it already, lead with kindness is sort of my motto. So I am gonna keep trying to do that. I promise that to the people in my life. I'll do my best, and I encourage others to think about it as well.
Amazing. Thanks so much. And I see you in London sometime for a Sunday roast, okay?
Yes, I hope so. Thank you so much.
Take care. Have a good day, okay? Bye bye. Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Thank you.
Bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye. See you next time.